I wish I never entered that room. I've always been a curious person, the kind who can't leave a mystery unsolved. Maybe that's why I was drawn to the old house at the end of Maple Street. It had been abandoned for years, shrouded in rumors and whispered stories, but none of those ever deterred me. If anything, they made the place more intriguing. When the opportunity arose to buy the house for next to nothing, I jumped at the chance. I told myself it would be an adventure, a chance to restore something beautiful and forgotten. Everyone else called me crazy, but I didn't care. I was drawn to that house in a way I couldn't explain, like it had been waiting for me. Moving in was surreal. The place was a time capsule, untouched for decades. Dust covered every surface, and the air was thick with the scent of neglect. But beneath that layer of grime, I saw potential, a chance to make the house my own. I spent the first week cleaning, scrubbing away years of dirt, and bringing the old place back to life. It was exhausting but satisfying work. Each day I uncovered something new, an old photograph here, a piece of antique furniture there. But what intrigued me most was the door on the third floor. The door was different from the others in the house. It was heavy, made of dark wood, and had an ornate, iron handle. Unlike the rest of the house, it was in perfect condition, not a speck of dust on it. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get it to open. It was locked, and none of the keys I found in the house fit the lock. That door became my obsession. I tried everything, picking the lock, using tools to force it open, even calling a locksmith. Nothing worked. It was as if the door was meant to stay closed, a secret sealed away forever. But I couldn't let it go. I had to know what was inside. One night, after hours of trying to pry the door open, I gave up and went to bed. That's when the dreams started. In the dreams, I was standing in front of the door, and it was open. The room beyond was dark, but I could sense something there, something watching me. I would wake up in a cold sweat. The image of that door burned into my mind. The dreams came every night, growing more vivid, more disturbing. I began to hear things, whispers in the middle of the night, footsteps on the floor above me, the sound of something scratching at the walls. But when I would go to investigate, there was nothing there. The fear started to creep into my waking life. I became paranoid, always feeling like I was being watched. The door on the third floor became a source of dread rather than curiosity. But despite the fear, I couldn't stay away from it. It was as if the door was calling to me, demanding that I open it. One night, after another restless sleep, I woke to find something in my hand, a key. It was old, heavy, and cold to the touch. I didn't know where it came from or how it ended up in my hand, but I knew immediately what it was for. With trembling hands, I made my way to the third floor. The house was silent, oppressive. The shadows seemed darker, the air colder. I stood in front of the door, the key feeling like a weight pulling me down. Part of me screamed to stop, to leave the house and never come back. But another part, the part that had always been drawn to this place, urged me on. I inserted the key into the lock and turned it. The mechanism clicked, and the door slowly creaked open. The room beyond was pitch black. My flashlight barely cut through the darkness, the beam weak and flickering. But as I stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind me, trapping me in the darkness. I fumbled for the light switch, but there was none. Panic surged through me as I realized I was completely alone in the dark. My flashlight flickered and died, leaving me in complete blackness. And then I felt it, a presence in the room with me. It was cold, oppressive, like the air itself was closing in around me. I couldn't see it, but I knew it was there. Something ancient, something malevolent. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The darkness pressed against me, filling my lungs, suffocating me. And then I heard it, the whispering. It was faint at first, but it grew louder, more insistent. It was a language I didn't understand, but the intent was clear. It wanted me. Desperation took over. I clawed at the door, trying to escape, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers grew louder, echoing in my mind, filling my head with thoughts that weren't mine. I could feel myself slipping away, my sanity unraveling as the darkness consumed me. And then, just as suddenly as it started, it stopped. The door flew open, and I stumbled out of the room, gasping for air. The house was silent again, the darkness receding as if it had never been there. I looked back at the door, now wide open, revealing an empty, ordinary room. But I knew it wasn't ordinary. I knew what I had felt, what I had heard. The room had tried to take me, to pull me into whatever nightmare existed within those walls. I didn't stay in the house after that. I packed what I could and left, abandoning the project, abandoning the house. I never went back. I couldn't. But sometimes, in the middle of the night, I hear it, the whispering. It's faint, distant, but it's there, just on the edge of hearing. And I know, deep down, that the room is still waiting, still calling to me. It always will be.